What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back out with another Zowoki video, but today is going to be obviously about Marvel. If you guys didn't look at the thumbnail, hello. But I am so excited because when I grew up, I loved Blade. Wesley Snipes' Blade 1, 2, and 3. Chef's kiss. I loved Blade. Wesley Snipes and so forth like that. But this Blade movie that was pretty much told that we weren't going to get any more. The guy, I can't remember the guy's name offhand, that was going to play the new Blade. But I don't know if he's doing it, but apparently the Marvel script for Blade has been stamped, confirmed, and I'm super excited. Plus, that's not the only thing. Midnight Suns update as well. We're going to look at all of this with Cosmic Wonder. Before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor, and you know what to do, subscribe, comment, like, and share the video. Don't forget to put your thoughts down below. Let me know if you are excited about Blade and so forth and so on, and what you would like to see going forward in the MCU. I definitely think in that chunk of window that we've had with the MCU after the Avengers Endgame, we've seen significant decline, obviously. I do think, obviously, too, that people think that all the Marvel movies are supposed to be on this pedestal that is like Avengers Endgame, but you have to realize, too, that they are building all these new characters and so forth to build up to Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War. So it's going to take time to bring ourselves back to those movies, which, thank God, is directed by the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers, I guarantee wholeheartedly that they will not let us down. One reason why is because the Cosmic Wonder posted a video not too long ago about why Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars won't fail. And I stand behind the Russo brothers because Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War were chef's kisses galore. And I can't wait to see what they do with Doomsday. And I mean, we've obviously too have gotten the leaks. The leaked images and so forth, but you guys are probably wanting me to shut up and stop talking because we are going to look at Blade is back, and they better, so help me, better put Wesley Snipes in this, because when I saw him in Deadpool and Wolverine, I was probably the one that was screaming the most inside that theater when I saw Wesley Snipes' Blade come back. I just want to see him in this one as well. Yeah, let's take a look.
Everybody, welcome to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU, and today we have
for those that have watched Blade 1, 2, and 3, let me know your favorite Blade. Obviously mine, I think, is going to be the third one. I like when Blade goes against Dracula, and then Ryan Reynolds is in there, Jessica Biel is in there. But don't get me wrong, I love 2 and 1, but Blade 3 Trinity is probably my favorite of all time.
Really interesting report about Blade. Now, there's been a lot happening with Blade. We've had multiple directors.
The funny thing is, I've liked Blade before I liked Spider-Man and Iron Man. Blade is my dude.
Multiple writers. We've heard that the script has been completely rewritten a couple of times, not just once, but a couple of times. And recently, Marvel Studios removed Blade from their release slate schedule.
And it pissed me off. Like, I was pissed. You know those guys that get pissed off at football games when their team doesn't win? I was like that. I was pissed.
Now, since the Russo brothers have returned to Marvel Studios and they are completely rewriting whatever original script that they had.
The Russo brothers are writing it?
For Avengers, Kang Dynasty / Doomsday and...
Well, they said new direct... If the Russo brothers make Blade... Oh!
Secret Wars, and this ultimately changed the course of the MCU's overall story. For example, it's very clear based on the leaked concept photos that were released a couple of days ago that we've covered on the channel that Marvel Studios actually has plans to do Battleworld. Now, of course, we all expected this to be the case, but the concept art confirms this is what they are thinking. And
I do apologize for keep cutting. I just want them to also, the end credits that they kept making after Avengers Endgame, actually make them worth something. Like what happened to Shang-Chi's 10 Rings? Who the hell was it calling? Or what about the guy at the end of Eternals too, when it was, what was his name? The guy with the sword. I'm drawing a blank. But I mean, what about Thanos' brother? Or like, I mean, the list goes on that we've seen these post-credit scenes, and yet they don't mean nothing. Remember the days where the actual post-credit scene was a little snippet into the next time? It just teased us just a little bit to where we were like, I can't wait for the next movie!
And in turn, that kind of confirms some other reports that we've heard, like anything that's going to take place between Avengers Doomsday and
I don't know why that was on
Secret Wars might be on Battleworld. So in turn, that means Spider-Man 4 could be set on Battleworld. The point is, we can clearly see how the Russo brothers coming in and writing their own new story drastically changed the overall plans that Marvel Studios had. And we've seen this because over the past couple of weeks, we've had official reports stating that Marvel Studios has either delayed or canceled projects. Now, Blade was announced to be removed from the release slate schedule a while ago, and I believe that it's because they couldn't get the script right. But according to this new, we'll call it rumor for now,
give it to an actual Marvel lover, I guarantee they could write the script for you. Because I've seen some not knockoffs, but indie movies of like Avengers and so forth, and the CG animation that some of those guys can do at home on their computer while Disney and all these guys are spending millions is ridiculous. It's all in the people that you're hiring, the people that are creating. And enough with this, like, oh, this person's got I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just going to let it go.
According to this new rumor, Blade is actually sitting really pretty with Marvel Studios right now. And I think the best indicator of this is the fact that Mahershala Ali has not yet left the project.
Oh, he hasn't? I thought he gave up.
Something about this project that Mahershala Ali really loves. So he's not.
But I do like the end of the Deadpool and Wolverine, where he goes, there's only going to be one Blade. I love that, which kind of made me sad because we knew that the Blade wasn't going to continue. But now we have this information that Blade is back.
Not leaving it. And according to this new rumor, they've got the script locked down and could even get a new director who I think a lot of people would really love to see direct Blade.
Russo,
now, I say this
please.
is a rumor because it's coming from a relatively new website,
I'm begging you, Russo brothers, if you are seeing my video, which I highly doubt, Russo brothers, please take this project because you would make Blade the epic movie that I've been begging for.
Blizz.com. However, in the past, they have reported an exclusive Fantastic Four plot leak. And based on the trailer that we've seen and the released concept art that we got a couple of days ago, that plot leak does seem very accurate. So clearly they have some sources. And yesterday they posted this article with the headline, Marvel's Blade finally moving forward. Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali approve script. Chad Stahelski in talks to direct. Now,
okay,
Blade is a priority for Marvel Studios because I do believe that Kevin Feige wants to get the Midnight Suns started in the MCU so they can appear in Avengers Secret Wars.
And if you guys don't know who Midnight Society is, you probably shouldn't be here.
Originally, they had planned to film Blade and the Midnight Suns back to back, but obviously it looks like those plans have changed. But according to this new rumor/report from MaxBlizz.com, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali are happy with a finalized script that they finally have at Marvel Studios for Blade, and Michael Green and Eric Pearson have written the script. If this is true, then that is fantastic news. Again, they clearly had a big idea that was attracting Mahershala Ali to the project to where he never left. There's been a lot of problems over
rumors
years now. Like if you think about it, in 2019 they announced Blade, where in 2025 now he's stuck around for a very long time. So clearly there's something great about this movie that is keeping him there. So if they lock down the script and Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali are happy with it, then hopefully it's pretty dang good. Now, the rumor about the director is crazy exciting news. Chad Stahelski directed John Wick. And not just the first one, but he has directed every single John
That is gonna be a blood fest.
Wick that has come out 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here's the deal. He actually has a really big connection with Marvel Studios, or I should actually say just Marvel in general, because he's worked on films like Deadpool 2 and The Wolverine for stunts. But of course, when those came out, those were Fox and not Marvel Studios. But that's the really cool thing about Chad Stahelski, which I think is why the John Wick movies are so good, is that he's a stunt coordinator. He was actually the stunt coordinator for Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, working with Robert Downey Jr., so he has a connection there. And he actually did do utility stunts for Iron Man 2, so he has worked with the MCU, even
So just bring him on in. We need him for Blade. Let's do it.
in a small manner, but he does have those connections. And the real interesting part is that he is actually
But if they do Blade, they need to put Deadpool in there. Somewhere, somehow, they need to put Deadpool like he fell out of one of the Doctor Strange things and came into the world like for not even 30 seconds. Bring him in. I would love to see that.
expressed interest in directing Blade just last year. He was on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, and he said that he would love to take on Blade. He said, of all things out there, I would love to take a swing at Blade in a second. That's one that gets under my skin. I'm like, I would take a swing at that. And he said that it was arguably his strongest public pitch for a Marvel brand that he's ever made. Well, Blade is set to be a pretty big action film with a lot of stunts. So Marvel, hearing that Chad Stahelski wants to direct Blade, knowing his epic past with Marvel films and directing the John Wick films as well, why wouldn't they want to at least have a conversation with him about it? Especially because we know that there's going to have to be some killer stunts in the Blade film. The hand-to-hand combat needs to be amazing. And if anybody could...
If the Blade combat is not like the Winter Soldier or the original Blades, I'm going to be pissed. Because Blade is combat, hand-to-hand combat. I mean, he's got his cool toys, but the man fights with his fists. And more.
Could direct this film, Chad Stahelski could definitely do it. So if this report is true, this could be a huge win for Marvel. And it could also get more people to have more faith in this movie, because after all of the changes and cancellations and removal from their slate, after everything has happened, fans are going to need something that gives them hope for this. And Mahershala Ali, I think, is going to crush it. And if they get Chad Stahelski to
don't get me wrong. The guy is an awesome... where did I see him in? Was it Alita? I think it was Alita. He played the bad guy in there. And I got a sense of like, whoa, this guy means business kind of thing. Like, and if he played a Blade, chef's kiss.
I think this movie just has massive potential, and the fact that Marvel Studios was willing to delay it, postpone it indefinitely, get new writers, get a new script just to make it basically exactly what they want it to be, I think that's a good sign as well. Especially because we know that Marvel and Kevin Feige have been wanting to get the Midnight Suns in the MCU for a pretty long time. In fact, the supernatural side of the MCU was supposed to be one of the major sides that we were supposed to get in the multiverse saga. We kind of got a little bit of it. We got Agatha all along. We got Moon Knight. We got Werewolf by Night, which I actually think was a really amazing project. And Ironheart is supposed to involve a lot of sorcery and dark magic as well. So Marvel really was building towards this supernatural side, but unfortunately,
I mean, it would give sense to bring back in Moon Knight, because a lot of people wanted a Moon Knight 2. I know I'm pausing it and I'm not letting it finish, but Ghost Rider, I've been wanting him to come to the MCU. Morbius. I mean, I'm not going to say I loved Morbius's film. I've watched it twice since it came out. That's how much it is. And then Punisher. I mean, they could make this movie up there with Avengers. I'm telling you, if they did it right, they can make this movie, The Midnight Society, like up there on the pedestal of Avengers quality.
What we heard was that Mahershala Ali's Blade was kind of supposed to be like the Nick Fury of the Midnight Suns team, the supernatural Avengers team. And we briefly saw this in the post-credit scene of the Eternals. Blade showed up to...
Another thing I want to see is I want to see an Iron Punisher. I've seen the toys. I was hoping to see it like in Armor Wars, which I'm hoping that project is still on, because they announced it. They said it was going to be a series, and they're like, no, we need to make it a movie. And I'm like, well, please make the Iron Punisher. I'm hoping they do it in this or something like that, like an upgrade suit version.
Dane Whitman. This was basically supposed to be Blade recruiting Dane Whitman as the Black Knight. And the original plan was for him to kind of go
That's
around
what it
to
was.
other-
The Dark Knight at the end of Eternals. That's what it was. I had that brain fart for a second. Because we saw him unsheathe the sword after his girlfriend got taken by the Celestial. And I was like, they're not going to do anything with this? Well, at first I was like, Midnight Society! Like, I was freaking out. And then we got nothing. And then they're like, oh, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that. It was just so depressing.
Heroes and start recruiting them as well. And that would
It's literally like your parents buying your actual Christmas gifts and then taking them and throwing them in the fire. Pretty much.
eventually give us the Midnight Suns team. But unfortunately, since Blade never debuted in the MCU, that pushed everything back. However, it's still a priority for Marvel Studios, especially because it really seems like they wanted Blade and the Midnight Suns to be a part of the huge multiverse finale, which is going to be Avengers Secret Wars. And that makes a lot of sense if we're going to have just a ton of different variants on Battleworld, and that concept art showed us that Battleworld is the direction that they're going. Well, to have all of these different characters on this planet without the Midnight Suns characters, well, that would be a shame. And I'm sure we're going to get some of them. Like, a lot of people are really hoping that Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider will return. And
oh my gosh,
that might happen. And if we do get the Midnight,
do it before the man gets too old. Okay, and Nicolas Cage is how old? Alexa, how old is Nicolas Cage? It's got to be pushing 70.
Nicolas Cage is 61 years old.
Okay, a lot younger than I thought. But put the man in there. We want to see it.
Suns, we might see them come together in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. I don't see them getting Blade out before Doomsday happens. They'd have to film before, which I don't think is even a possibility at this point. They'd have to film between Doomsday and...
Which is fine. I would like to see Blade between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War. That would be the perfect time to put it.
And Secret Wars, which is also going to be really hard because the Russo brothers basically confirmed that they're filming Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back. Plus, not to mention, they are filming Spider-Man 4 in between Doomsday and Secret Wars as well.
Oh my
so they'd
gosh.
have to throw Blade in between, which is possible, but it's going to be pretty hard for Marvel to do. But with a completely separate cast and crew, it's entirely possible. And they'll essentially have to do it to get Blade into Avengers Secret Wars, along with the Midnight Suns, because as far as we're concerned, we kind of know all the parties that are going to be in Doomsday. We'll have Sam Wilson, aka Captain America's new Avengers team. We'll have Bucky's Thunderbolts. We'll have characters like Doctor Strange, Wong, Spider-Man. We'll have the Young Avengers, in which we saw concept art for as well, that showed them with Star-Lord, and we saw Star-Lord with two different people. One, Wong, with the Young Avengers, so it looks like they're going to be mentors, but they also showed him with Vision. And if the Vision Quest series leads to the Young Avengers team, then perhaps Vision gets involved with mentoring the Young Avengers as well.
Because we literally saw the man fly off and we haven't seen him since.
So we have Wong, Star-Lord, and Vision, who are the mentors to the Young Avengers team. That's another one right there, plus any other Guardians of the Galaxy characters that could show up. On top of that, we'll have the Fantastic Four and the X-Men as well. So there's already a ton of different teams in Avengers Doomsday. It would be insanely awesome to see the Midnight Suns thrown in there, but unless Blade gets here before that, which I don't think is going to happen, it's not really possible. But it is good news that Marvel Studios has reportedly locked in the script.
At least we've locked in Blade. At least we've done that.
And is eyeing a director, a very good director for the film, in my opinion. Let me know your opinion and your thoughts about all of this news in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel.
I'm telling you right now, I'm glad that Blade is locked back in. I'm a little nervous because of what we've seen before in certain aspects of different characters and so forth. And again, I don't know what all the hate is when it comes to the new Captain America Brave New World. I had such a great time. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Is it my favorite Captain America? No. But again, it doesn't mean that I don't value that, or Sam Wilson, Captain America, not being Captain America. I enjoyed it. But there's so many people that are like, oh, it's missing this, it's missing that. You can see that they cut this there, cut that there. I honestly thought it was better than I thought. I'm just worried that that's going to happen with Blade. Is they're going to recast, shoot, recast, shoot, and they're just going to get flabbergasted again. Just stick with what the fans are telling you. I mean, the fans know what they want, and that's who you got to please. You have to please the fans, the ones that have read comic books and games and movies, or just listen to the fans. So, with that being said, let me know your guys' thoughts down below about Marvel's Blade. I'm a little bummed out that the Midnight Suns is not like set in stone, but maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see it, because I'd love to see Green Goblin, Ghost Rider, Morbius. I mean, that's another one we saw. We saw Morbius talk to Vulture. I'm getting a team together, or I can't remember about if it was a team together, but they met, and then I was like, oh, Sinister Six. Nothing. Like, stop doing a teaser trailer or a teaser post-credit scene if you're not going to use it. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Please take care, be safe. Don't forget to put your comments and share with your friends, and go over to Cosmic Wonder and give him the same love that he deserves. We'll see you guys in the next video. Please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in that next video. Peace.